Dear Nigerians, the way forward will require that the government is responsible, that the government is thinking at the highest level possible and communicating at the highest level possible. It will require to take many initiatives, all manner of necessary positive compromises, square-offs of any kind, ideas that can help us to be taken seriously in the Committee of Nations internationally. Many things must be done by the government. But quite frankly, my goal today, as I address my followers, friends and colleagues and associates out there, today is not a day, and going forward will not represent the kind of articulation about how the government must think seriously. That they must do. Today is about us. There is no way we can continue to point fingers and not take responsibility for the kind of people we have to be. We need to win. We need to be strong. The ideas that allow us to be strong are not common at all. They are rare. We have to choose to be that rare quality. To then accept that rarity is the concept of value. That's priceless. So we have to find those exceptional, authentic type of thinking, those exceptional, authentic type of attitude that allow us to be strong internally and begin to arrest our circumstances inside out than outside in. The scenario is already tough. There's enough complexity on ground. But when complexities are intensified, there is a greater and greater demand on knowledge. Unto knowledge we must turn. The idea that the human spirit is strong. We have the incredible ability to experience our world, to question it very deeply, to find the options that exist in that world, and to be able to know those options to embrace as a matter of supreme urgency, as a matter of supreme importance. This is the new thinking for the Nigerian of 2016. The Nigerian of 2016 is saddled with incredible responsibility to make choices. Those choices become the foundation of the kind of life the Nigerians of 2065, the Nigerians of 2075 are going to have to accept. Those are our children, those are our great-great-grandchildren. Those guys won't have too many options except for the options we can find today and lay the grounds for. What do we need to do then? We need to call on our best self. We need to call on mental weaponry. We need to use tools like inner clarity. We need to turn to knowledge, to begin to arrest our own behavior, our own thinking and attitude, and to use the kind of value we can bring out from there as the succor point and the comfort zone for those within our area of influence. We have to accept to be a type of rebel. A rebel not by taking arms or by coming to create a lot of unrest, no, but by refusing to go with what the system expects you to do and to begin to take responsibility for your own clarity, and then to bring that clarity into so much value, the kind of value that society can be grateful for. A typical example is you really don't have 24-hour power supply, but what have you done? You have not sat down in one corner feeling sorry and wondering where is power supply going to come from. What have you done? While you continue to pressure the system and take stance clearly about how the government must provide 24-hour power supply, you have been a good rebel by getting yourself a generator. So I'm not making a new call. I am asking us to now give more attention to the things we have learned to do so well. Every Nigerian have refused to have that state of powerlessness. What we have done is almost every home, almost in every city, in every town, even in the corners, in the villages, you find that Nigerians now have 24-hour power supply, but not by the creation of a system they believe so much in, but essentially by their own willpower to insist on the kind of environment they must have, on the kind of value they must experience, to begin to consider the idea that legacy is a manipulatable quantity, and that if they stay focused on their own legacy, they can create so much value, that kind that can give them incredible peace and awesome balance. That's great, but we must stretch a bit more. The idea to sell today is about stewardship of private property. What we have all known is ownership of private property and stewardship of public property. It can't work. The reason why people fail in public office is because of that equation. They believe in ownership of private property, and then they want to manifest stewardship of public property. What they forget is that stewardship of private property, not ownership, stewardship of private property must precede stewardship of public property. Ownership is a human invention, the very instrument that allows us to show our human wretchedness. We have to outgrow the smallness of ownership and think more about stewardship. Nothing belongs to us, Victor. Nothing belongs to us. We are here as custodians to accept responsibility at a level, to think at a level, and to understand that our shoulder is not for us. Our shoulder represents nothing but a comfort zone, a succor point that the helpless and the weak can lean on. I believe very strongly that helplessness is a state of the human mind. Powerlessness is a state of the human mind. But providence have not allowed all of us to access that knowledge equally. Some of us have had the privilege of accessing that knowledge by some divine arrangement in our history that caused us to be strong and to allow us to be able to accept responsibility in the way we have. What must we do therefore? What we need to do is to accept that responsibility of nature, embrace providence, but then use it in such a way that society can be grateful for. The idea is embrace stewardship of private property. With what is going on in our country today, with the pain around us today, how our children are struggling, our adults are managing deep levels of confusion, our young people are looking for value everywhere, the options are getting leaner and leaner. With what is going on around us today, I think and I consider that every Nigerian that is productive in any capacity has lost the right to only focus on himself. We have all lost the right to only focus on ourselves. The kind of success we want to see in Nigeria now and in all over Africa is not the kind that can help us to grow as individuals. No. We now need the kind of success that society can be grateful for, such that the vision of one becomes the vision of the many, and the vision of the many becomes the vision of one, such that in our participatory ideologies, we can have strength, we can have new focus, we can think communities, we can think stewardship of private property, we can outgrow the prejudice of religion, the prejudice of ethnic sentiments, and begin to find that quality that can bind us together. In my lifetime, I meet Igbos every day, Yorubas every day, Fulanis every day. So I've seen 10 years 4 times with some extras. But in my journey of over 40 years, I'm not sure I have met 10 Nigerians in my lifetime who are able to make equal the borderlines of pain and bliss. Don't get me wrong, I meet people every day who claim they are Nigerians. I meet people every day, Yorubas every day, who claim they are Nigerians. I meet Igbos every day who claim they are Nigerians. People from different minority areas who claim they are Nigerians, Northerners who claim they are Nigerians. But by the time you move into their life, you see prejudices that cannot allow them to make equal, without ethnic or religious sentiments, the borderlines of pain, of struggle, of bliss, of prosperity. Those are issues, even of bonding and of communing at a level. Those are prejudices that we must defeat. Those are evils that we must defeat. Part of the idea is, let's come home, let's accept the idea that there are new trajectories of bonding that we are yet to explore. Those things exist, but we have not cared enough to explore them. But what is bigger? What is bigger is there's no point exploring anything, because it is the person that is well that can donate blood. It is the person that is well that can donate blood. What's that called? That's called capacity. We now need people to focus on themselves, grow capacity, and to grow the kind of capacity that the people within their area of influence, the things within their area of influence, can experience incredible inspiration and succor, comfort and progress. It's called stewardship of private property. Stewardship of private property. The idea that we own nothing, that our best will exist for others, and that there is no way we can exist for others and not enjoy of the privilege of the pipe and conduit principle. What does it say? There's no conduit, there's no pipe in the world that is passing out water to people. There's no pipe in the world that has a goal to be wet. The goal of a pipe is to pass out water for others to drink and use. That's the goal of a pipe. The pipe has no plans to be wet, except that it is impossible for a pipe to pass out water and not be wet. The more water you pass out, the more you qualify to be wet. There will be residue of the value you are passing out that will stick to you, even if you don't want it. It is not a choice, it's an experience. It is not a goal, it is an experience. Let's be that pipe. Let's be busy passing out water. Let those who need it use it. Let those who want it get it. Once we do that, we don't need to make getting the water a goal. Pass it out and you will be wet. That's the pipe conduit principle. The idea is share prosperity. Prosperity is not a goal, it's an experience. What you need to do is make it available to others, and whether you like it or not, like that pipe, you will receive yours. I sell very strongly today stewardship of private property. And to put something on that, I would say that if you are a Nigerian and you are earning above 30,000 naira, if you are a Nigerian anywhere and you are earning above 30,000 naira, you have lost your moral right, you have lost your right to take that money and consume it on yourself and your family alone. I challenge you to separate at least 1,000 naira of that 30,000 naira. Do the math, get a percentage. Take out 1,000 naira and look for something or someone around you you can make a contribution to. Life is not about longevity as it is about the credibility of existence. Find and install credibility into your existence by ensuring that your shoulder is a comfort zone and inspiration point. I'm not asking us to dole out money. I am saying find the platforms of value, name them right, ensure there's capacity to receive that value, give to that capacity so that we can multiply what we are talking about. We need big ideas. CSR is trying, but corporate sense will not allow it to thrive as it should. PSR is better. Personal social responsibility. That's not a duty for the rich. That's a duty for everybody that has any measure of value in your life. It's all you can do is to put a pack of table water in your car and give it to the policeman at the next checkpoint. If what you can do is to find some kind of food, bread or something, and take it to some motherless baby's home, if what you can do is to find systems and institutions needing value, if all you can do is to visit FRSC, visit LASMA, what you can do is put up seminars, what you can do is to fight the environment and set up NGOs that address recycling and waste management, whatever it is, or renewable energy. We need conversations at very big levels. It's called PSR, personal social responsibility. Every Nigerian has lost his right to experience value and not share it with society. A part of your income regularly should be going into how society can be lifted. It's called personal social responsibility. It's called stewardship of private property. This is the challenge I give to you today. Be a rebel, mental weaponry. Accept mental weaponry, thought revolution. Take new responsibilities. Take yourself to the highest level possible. Push and pursue big dreams. It is the responsibility of the human spirit to accept responsibility for big projects and to make them happen, and to give the world an awesome experience of your difference. This world will never, ever recognize us, reward us for our similarities. We will be rewarded, recognized for our difference. Our difference is our personal power. Let's come home and ask questions about how we are different, sensitive to value, sensitive to how we can all grow, sensitive to how we can expand. It's key. It's called stewardship of private property, participatory ideology. It's called personal social responsibility. This is how we must go. This is what I believe in. And inasmuch as we continue to pressure the system and give all hope and prayers to government that they will continue to think right, find meaningful options, execute soundly and intelligently, work from helicopter view, big picture thinking, consider everything holistically. The government will do that and more by God's grace. But we must not just fold our arms expecting somebody to come help us. We must help ourselves. I've made up my mind I'm not going to suffer for anybody's ignorance. Nobody should. Take responsibility. First for yourself, to give yourself a level of capacity and clarity, and then ask, how can this capacity and clarity be valuable to the system? That's not by forming another ministry, that's not by forming another work, that's just by taking a second look at your environment and say, I can make a contribution, I can make impact. That's free. Optimism is free, faith is free, Enthusiasm is free, pursuit is free, and of course, the commitment to share value is very free. There are no gate fees, there are no investment. Get it going, do something. Happy Democracy Day. Consider this new thinking and let's go forward. Nigeria will win, evil will lose. God bless you.